Hello guys, in this video we are going to discuss that FIFA has suspended Russia from World Cup and all other competitions. What does it mean? How it works? Along with this, we will also discuss that Roman Abrahmovich, owner of Chelsea Football Club, has confirmed that Chelsea is up for sale. And that's really sad that politics has taken over this game. But before going towards that, please subscribe our channel to get latest updates and share your views in the comment section. So, guys, recently FIFA has announced that it has indefinitely suspended Russian representative teams, men's and women's. In a joint statement, UEFA announced they were removing club sides from all competitions. This means that all Russia almost certainly not be participating in the Qatar World Cup that is going to start in November. So the question is, Russia were due to play in Men's World Cup playoffs later this month and Women's Euros in July. Is there any way back for Russia now? Answer is straight. For the men, almost certainly not. Their playoff game against Poland was scheduled for March 24. They would need to be reinstated by FIFA. That would won't happen unless they reach a peace deal and reconcile with all those countries, including Poland and European, and that won't happen unless they reach a peace deal and reconcile with all of those countries, including Poland, who said that they will boycott Russia against in any football event. The Women's Euro is a little bit different in the sense that that is 4 months away, and you hope and pray that at that time the war will end it and a resolution to be reached. But right now it feels like a remote possibility. The next question is, why do we call this unprecedented? Haven't countries been suspended from FIFA before? Answer is yes, FIFA suspend members all the time. Just last week, they suspended Kenya and Zimbabwe for government interference. Last year, it was Chad and Pakistan for the same reasons. Normally, it happens because of government interference, corruption, or financial irregularities. Sometimes it can happen for doping cases or sporting corruption and similar like issues. But to suspend a member nation for political reasons is very rare. It happened to Yugoslavia back in 1990s at the height of the civil war, and to South Africa in 1961 because of the country's apartheid policy and insistence on fielding all white teams. But there are key aspects that make this different. Like, first of all, the speed of the decision that is very crucial. The invasion of Ukraine began less than a week ago. More significantly, in both the above cases, FIFA acted after resolutions from the United Nations. In 1992, Yugoslavia was sent home the day after a UN resolution imposed sanctions on the Bosnia. They were replaced in the European Championship at that time by Denmark, who would go on to win that tournament. South Africa's ban, which would last more than 4 decades, came after a UN resolution in 1960 calling on the government to abandon policies of apartheid and racial discrimination. This time, there has been no UN Security Council resolution condemning the invasion. And there is also a reason that because Russia is one of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, and therefore he can veto any decision. So the resolution that was introduced demanding that Russia withdraw immediately from Ukraine was effectively vetoed. So now the question is, why does this ban matters? FIFA is a sporting organization, not a political one. It's one thing to ban a country for political reasons when you are backed by the UN. It's quite another when you are not, and you have to answer to your 211 members, some of whom might feel differently, but it then many of those in the West who wanted Russia out straight away. It's worth remembering that while Russia was the only one of the 15 Security Council members to vote against the resolution, another three abstained, which includes India, China, and UAE. That's a sizable chunk of the world's population right there. So, now the last question is, can Russia appeal? Yes, Russia can appeal FIFA's decision by taking their case to the Court of Arbitration of Sports. It's an independent body, and in the past, it has gone against major sporting organizations. Like recently, it did when it overturned Manchester City's ban for violating FIFA's financial fair play. Russia have a good record there when the World Anti-Doping banned Russia for 4 years for failing to comply with regulation. CS reduced this ban to 2 years. And just last month at the Olympics, it upheld Russia's decision to lift the provisional suspension on the figure skater Kamila Vebla. So FIFA wanted to make its ban as legally watertight as possible. Now, is this ban fair towards Russian athletes as they are the not who started the war? So on this question, there can be right or wrong, plus and positive, as some people will feel that the way and its why, even when Russia were banned from the Olympics, the athletes are still allowed to compete as individuals. But it's important to note that the ban is on Russian institutions, not athletes. Russian players who compete in other countries like Atlanta forward Alaski, who scored on Monday night against Sampdoria but did not celebrate, are free to play. Historically, there was a sense that sports and Olympics should always remain separate. This goes way back to Olympic Games in ancient Greece when, so the story goes, that would actually suspend wars to compete in Olympiads. But folks figured out long ago that sports are excellent propaganda tools for governments and the line has become blurred. More broadly, I think we have become more comfortable with our sporting institutions taking positions that in the past were deemed as political or taking sides and therefore unacceptable. Whether it's taking a knee before kickoff in the NFL or the Premier League, or MLB moving its all star game from Georgia in response to a new voting law, or the NBA moving its all star game out of the Carolina because of its objection to a law that limits anti-discrimination protections of LGBT people in the state. We have come a long way from 1968 when Tommy Smith and John Carlos were expelled from Olympics for having the temerity to raise their black gloved fists into the Mexico City sky, which is why it won't be surprising if we continue to see protests against Russia and solidarity with Ukraine until peace returns. And that includes the World Cup qualification playoffs and the Women's European Championship. So now it's all about Chelsea Football Club. Roman Abramovich has confirmed his intention to sell Chelsea. Earlier, it was reported that the 55-year-old was willing to listen to offers for the club, and Abramovich has confirmed the plans in a statement released on the Blues website later in the day. He said that he would like to address the speculations in media over the past few days in relation to his ownership of Chelsea Football Club. He further said that he always taken decisions with the club's best interest at heart, and in the current situation, he have to therefore take the decision to sell the club, as he believes that this is in the best interest of the game and club and its fans and its employees and its sponsors. Thus, club sale of the club will not be fast tracked but will follow due process. But ultimately, the club is going to separate its ways with Roman Abramovich. So, guys, thank you for your time. That's all for today. See you soon. But please subscribe our channel and click the bell icon button to get the latest updates. Till then, it's goodbye.